We all know that reeds can feel different from one another. Of course, that's a big deal. Let's dive in and figure out, scientifically speaking, if we can, what's actually happening. We feel there's a difference, and we're probably right. But what is that difference in the sound? Can we put names to it? Can we put words to it? Let's find out. Welcome to Woodwind Ninja. My name's Jay. Today, we are going to venture into the unknown. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to test every reed that I have. Not every single one of them, because I've got hundreds, but a representation of each reed. Before we get going on this, I don't have a relationship with any reed manufacturer. They probably don't even know who I am, and that is okay. And the reason I'm highlighting that is I don't have an interest, really, in one reed performing one way or another way. I will be completely upfront. I play Vandoren V12s, number 4. That's what I play right now. 3 years ago, I would have confidently said, I play Ligatures signatures, number 4. That's what I would have told you. And a year from now, I make no promises what I will tell you. I have played in my life on D'Addario grand concerts. They're not even called grand concerts. Pardon me, that's coming later. I've played on D'Addario Reserve Classic. I've played on Rico Grand Concert, Blue Box and White Box. I've played on Glotane guys. I've played on Vandoren V12s. I've played on V21s. I've played on 56s. I've played on Ligatures signatures. I've played on European signatures. I have a reed here that I've never played in performance, which is Silverstein, Ambi-Poly, Primo. There's a lot of names to it. It is a synthetic reed. I'll show you a picture of it. In any case, my point in telling you all this is I'm open to any reed. That's my point. And this is for entertainment purposes only. What we're going to do is use an app called Tonal Energy. And if you don't have Tonal Energy, I would suggest you don't stop this video, but right after this video is over, after you hit the like button and subscribe, go ahead and if you've got $5 or $2 or whatever it takes to purchase Tonal Energy, get it on your device. It is a terrific product. It's a great tuner. It's a great metronome. And it's got all sorts of hidden features that are amazing. Right behind me. Running right there. And the feature that I have it on is one that shows the kind of shape of the entire note. So it'll tell you if you're in tune. It will tell you if it'll tell you a lot of things. This particular section of the app shows, I believe, the overtones and how they're represented in the sound. And we're going to experiment. We're going to play every note, not every note, but most of the notes on the clarinet. And we're going to find out where the overtones are and how each note is resonating. And here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to play every note from low E to high G sharp. The reeds represented here are Vandoren V12, Vandoren V21, Ligatures signature, Ligatures European signature, D'Addario Reserve, a D'Addario Reserve Classic, and a Silverstein Primo Ambi-Poly synthetic reed. Why these reeds, you ask? Well, because these are the reeds that I have here at my house. I don't purchase things specifically to review them. Maybe I should, and maybe I will, but I don't currently do that. So these are reeds that just sort of existed here on my desk. And then I'm going to, on the screen around me, show you on every different reed how those notes look in the picture. Let's do that now. right, so now the plan is to put some of these, not some of them, all of them side by side in a quick excerpt to see how it feels. I just want to go ahead and say out loud right now, I'm going to play you some Beethoven 6th. I am not pretending that this has been prepared for an audition today, because it hasn't. So be easy on me. But let's listen to how the reeds sound. And look at the pictures of how they sound at the same time. All right, so let's do it. I'm going to play the second movement. Is it the second movement? The slow movement of Beethoven 6. Not the whole excerpt, because a lot of that excerpt is counting rests, and that doesn't tell us much about our reeds. All right, so here we go. Let's do it. This is a Vandoren V12. Moving on to the next reed. This is a V21 by Vandoren. A D'Addario Reserve. And this is the D'Addario Reserve Classic. And here we have a European signature. This is a Ligatures signature. This is the Silverstein Ambi-Poly Primo. So again, as I reviewed in real time my performance of Beethoven Sixth, I am not representing that as how someone should play it, how I should play it, or anything like that. But I did just want to show it's something that's revealing, which is why we play that excerpt, what it is that we can learn about the differences in these reeds. Before I listened to it back, there's only one reed that made me mad. One reed made me sad. And the rest of them, I could find something to love. What did you think? All right, I'm going to edit this all together, everything that we've done so far, and I'm going to come up with some interesting and maybe useful conclusions. See you in a second. I've now fully examined the information from the experiment. And what have I come up with? Wait for it. What I want to do, just real quick, is go ahead and do just the first little bit of the Beethoven. I've re-edited it so that it is just mostly C's and F's, so we can hear those two notes, how they resonate, what they look like, and what the pitch is like. Because there's some variables here that I'm going to have to make another video because I don't think I have enough information here to draw really strong conclusions. But check this out real quick. Okay, so the thing that is different for me in that is when we get up to that high C, where does that high C sit pitch-wise? These were honestly all played rapid fire, one after the other. And they're significantly different. But I am also fully aware that the reeds that are like the ones that I tend to play are going to sound better. I'm voiced for those reeds and how I naturally play and what I expect from those reeds. So it's not a surprise to me that those reeds sound more focused and more in tune. But it does give a general sense of things. So now here's my general thoughts as we come to a close on this, because I've got to stop with this because it's driving me nuts. As I play the chromatic scale and I look at the pictures, it's a very weird sort of mind-eye thing because I'm hearing the sound of one reed. And by the way, if I didn't tell you, that reed is a V12, but I'm looking at the pictures of all the different reeds. So I had to look at that a few times before I started to really be able to get at least a feeling that I understood what I was looking at and what I was hearing. And I suppose one could watch that with the sound down, and maybe that would be a more effective way of looking at it. I'll have to do that again. But here's what I noticed in that. The shallow register from low E up through B flat, I did notice some changes in what we call the throat tones from, F sharp, G, A flat, A, B flat. I thought that there started to be some differences there, but looking at low E and low F up through most of the notes, I mean, the changes were pretty much aligned with all of the reeds in my head. It was when we got into the Clarinet register that things started to get some wildly different results. And it wasn't even a consistent difference between the cane reed and the synthetic reed. The results seem to imply that that's not actually the main difference in how the reeds play. Like I noticed that G above the staff had a much different, that note in particular was a lot more different than, did I say that right? More different? I don't know. Forgive me if my English was poor on that. In any case, that was a much different note from reed to reed. There was more variation in that, I think, is what I was trying to say. And I thought that there was going to be a more huger, a bigger difference in the altissimo register, and that really wasn't the case. I think for me, what I really realized is the bars on the far right, the upper overtones, that really just represented whether the tone in general was brighter or not brighter for me. Well, I guess probably for anybody. That part is probably would be the same for anybody. The more those overtones are popping out, the brighter the sound. And the thing that I noticed, it was, for me, in what I liked in the sound, it was how were those first four overtones. So there's the purple note, and then there's the first three or four green bars mattered the most to me in terms of how did I enjoy the sound of that note. And I don't know why I think this, but I think that the third overtone is the one that makes us easy to play in tune with and to sound in tune when we're playing. In terms of, this is me just spitballing an idea based on how I know I feel when I play these different reeds, and what I'm deducing that to be related to, and it is that third overtone in my head. I want to just go ahead and say a couple things. There are probably more specific pieces of machinery to use other than a tuner that we can buy for $4. Although it's amazing that we can buy a tuner for $4 that provides us this kind of interest. However, yes, there's probably a much more exact way to measure this. And to really get solid results on this, I'm going to need 20 more of you to do this. Are you into it? If you are, let's make a complicated video together. I'm totally into that, because then we can get some real, actual results that I'm pretty sure we could draw a strong conclusion from. But for me, I like the reed that I play the most, which is the V12. Like that's the one in doing this project that that's the one I like the best. When I hear it back, it's the one I like the sound of. I also like the Dario Reserve, and I was surprised how much I like the V21. I haven't ever felt like I like that reed, but when I hear it back, I thought it sounded pretty good. And the Reserve Classic sounded awfully good to me as well. When it comes to the synthetic reeds, let me tell you a secret. I want the European signature to really work for me. I really want that. I don't know why I want that, but I want that. And I want it bad. But I'm not getting it. And I don't like it when I play it. And I don't like it when I hear it, when I hear me playing it. I've heard other people play it, and they sound good. It doesn't sound good when I play it. And I particularly hate, that was the reed that made me sad when I was making the Beethoven 6 excerpt. The reed that made me angry, the reed that made me mad, was the Silverstein reed. I made another video comparing these reeds, and I'll link it here at the end in just a moment. And I know that resonated with some people, a couple people I'm thinking of specifically that I respect a lot, really like the sound of that reed. I don't. And that's what makes music fun, right? Is that somebody can like a sound, another person doesn't like the sound. I might like it if somebody else played that sound. I don't like it when I play that sound. It's a complicated, rich tapestry of things that we can feel and we can think. And that's what makes this a fun endeavor. So I'm not trying to say anybody's right or wrong, but for me, I hate playing that reed. And I find it very unstable. Someone else might see that and say, it's flexible, that's great. I find it unstable. And I think like the pitch of it gets weird for me. It's very hard for me to focus that reed. I don't feel like I get very focused sound out of it. If you want to see a blooper reel, I should make one of me trying to play Beethoven 6 on that reed. It took me like 10 minutes to get the little thing that I showed you. And I'm still a little bit embarrassed by it. But that's not to mean that someone else can't play that reed and sound good, because that's the thing. On a different mouthpiece with a different person, well, primarily with a different person, on a different mouthpiece, on a different clarinet, that's going to sound totally different. We're going to get a different set of results, which is why the invitation is open to investigate this with me if you want, just to see what happens. So for me, I felt like if I were going to play a synthetic reed, I would definitely go with the regular Ligature signature. That reed seemed to be aligned with the things that I tend to like. Although I wasn't in this particular investigation drawn to play it again. I am going to experiment working on some of these cane reeds to see. I thought that there was some stuff in all of them that I liked. One of the Didarios, which I can't remember right off the top of my head, didn't seem particularly. It had a weird resistance, but that also can be worked on, and maybe I could have and should have worked on that a little bit more. But truth of the matter is, I worked on that reed. I thought it was pretty good, but then when I was playing it here, it felt a little funny. But that is why people don't like to play cane reeds, right? Because one day they're good, and then the next day they're not as good. So, all of this is a problem, depending on how you look at it and what you're looking to do and when you're looking to do it and how you want it to be. I do want to share. Both times I played Ligatures for about a year. The reason I stopped playing them wasn't because of the sound. The reason I quit playing them was because when I wanted to switch to a different one, I would spend, I think it was like $25 on a new reed. And sometimes that reed didn't feel anything like the reed that I'd been playing on previously. And so I would buy a few of them, more than a few of them. I'd spend a couple $100s on reeds, come back, and they would, to me, felt really different from one another. I've got a good friend who works on them, and I guess if I'm not going to play it, I might as well try and work on it. But I thought I was playing Ligier reeds to not work on reeds. But I was very disappointed in the consistency of them. Other people may have had different experiences. I certainly know a lot of people that play them very successfully. And again, for me, it wasn't the playing of them that felt unsuccessful. I felt like I was taking just as much time, spending just as much money to try to get them to work right. I was probably spending more money, to be quite honest, because it was very unfortunate a couple of times when I just couldn't get another one to do what I liked about the one that I was playing. And it was very confusing to me why I was dealing with what I perceived to be such inconsistencies with those reeds. So again, the reasons why we might want to play these reeds, we're all different people. We all value different things. There is something nice when you get a Ligier reed working for you or a Silverstein reed working for you. I would imagine it's the same experience where you got a great life for the time that reed works. For the time that reed is working for you, it's good because you don't have to spend any time working on reeds, and that's a relief, and that is a lifestyle choice that I enjoyed very much when I was playing those reeds. That's really, I think, the only other interesting thing, for whatever reason, I have put my Ligier reeds and that Silverstein reed in water. The Ligiers float, and the Silverstein doesn't. I don't know what that proves. No idea. But it seems like the cuts on those reeds, I can't speak to I haven't measured any of them, and that would imply that I know how to measure them, and I don't. Those are different approaches to making a synthetic reed. It's very interesting. The way that goes is that's going to work for some people, and it's going to not work for some people. And for me, the Silverstein approach is not working. But again, I'm not telling you not to use it, or that even you shouldn't even like how I sound on it. Maybe that was your favorite one of the ones that I played. The magic of music. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to put that video where I play all these reeds side by side. I play one piece, and I edited them in, so we're kind of hearing them as just a mishmash. We're not hearing an A, B, A, B, A, B, and listening like that. We're just hearing some very abrupt cuts on a rose etude to see, what it sounds like to just have the sound change from measure to measure. Because I think I changed it like every 2 measures or whatever. I thought it was interesting. It happens to be the only video I've ever made on YouTube that's something that people disliked. And I gotta tell you, having a video disliked hurts. In any case, that being said, smash the like button, would you? It's been there the whole time. You probably thought about it. Just smash it right now. And subscribe, really, because, why wouldn't you want to hear about reeds like this? Anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this a little bit, maybe got a little something out of it. If you know a lot about acoustics and you want to tell me some stuff that I couldn't interpret for myself, be nice about it. But please do it in the comments. I would love for anyone else's expertise to fill out what I don't know. Because this has been fun. It's been an interesting experience. It's been hard to edit. And that's that. Thanks for joining Woodwind Ninja for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.